Hi guys, my name is Ochuko and welcome to the BP Talks. Today in the studio, quite an unusual episode. I know. Today we're going to be talking about finance. You want to grow your finance, I want to grow my finance. Everybody wants to grow their finance. I have in the studio Alphapath, which is sponsored by Easy Markets. And I have two beautiful, interesting guests here with me. I'm going to start with Son, and he is the Chief Sales and Retention Officer at Easy Markets. So great to have you in the studio.
Thank you, guys.
And I have with me here Bharat Gori, who is Director of Partnerships and Development.
Thank you.
Fantastic to have you in the studio. I am excited about this conversation because we're going to be talking about money. And this is the part that most people don't like to talk about. Most people are usually uncomfortable when you're asking questions about money, particularly when they're not doing so well at that part of their life. I will start with the first question, and I'm going to start with Elik. Why most people stay broke, in spite the fact that they work hard? Why do most people stay broke?
Look, I think nowadays the world has changed. Work hard was the old way we have been educated, right? I'm born after 80s. So remember when I was a kid, parents teach us how you should be a hard worker, study hard, Nowadays, you should, instead of work hard, you should work smart. Even you study, you should study smart. So hardworking and has changed the meaning of hardworking. So you should choose the right field. You should definitely have to chase the trend, because nowadays everything works with internet, AI. If you're not part of that, it means you lose opportunity. So that's the direction, that's the development for the whole world, right? From United States, from China, from Nigeria. If you go against the trend, you just try to skip from AI tools, try to skip online finance, you keep doing what you believe is correct, which is against the trend, it means you make the gap become bigger. So that's why I'm saying just simply work hard doesn't give you the right moment, doesn't give you the right direction to work forward. So you have to be smart.
Interesting. That's interesting. But would you want to say something to that?
Yeah, I actually do agree with Alec on most of the things, on everything. What I believe, especially goes with what Alec just said.
Yeah,
hard work alone nowadays, it's not an economic strategy.
That's a powerful statement.
And if you're just working hard, you're just always stuck in survival now. So basically, most people, as Alex said, especially our generation, we were taught to trade our time for money. But if you see the wealthy people, they learn how to make systems that work for them even when they are sleeping.
Right.
So if you're working for 14 hours a day and as soon as you stop working, your money stops, that is not something that works in today's world now. You need to be making money while you're sleeping. So it makes a huge difference whether you're just trading your time for money or you have systems in place, especially as Alex said, during this era of AI. Even if you want to go sell a pencil, you'll sell it with an AI. So at the end of the day, you have to make sure that you're not just dependent on one system and you're just not dependent on your time and just exchanging your time for money.
Well,
so
yes, that's pretty interesting. I like the fact what you talked about, and I think you guys kind of highlighted it. Sit and you're making money, right? Instead of working and then. So this leads me to the next question, and it's forex trading, which is a big part of what you do.
Yeah,
right. At the integral part, of course, I would like a segment in this conversation where you get to express, and talk about really what it is that you do. But before we get there, forex trading. Let's answer the truth. Scam or wealth opportunity? Let's be honest.
Wealth opportunity.
Why?
Yeah. Look, the thing is, when people say scam, mostly they're using the bad experience, bad example in the industry. I believe anything you do in our life, you have both sides, the good and bad. Even you are purely chasing a healthy lifestyle, there's a consequence after that as well. So scam, most likely people afraid, right? I believe there are a lot of scammers for that attentions has been pointed at our industry. So this is the bad apples, right? But as us to see from the broker side, it's definitely an opportunity. I mean, because let's talk about just in Nigeria. People have very limited access to get into the international market, right? If you want to see, you see now Bitcoin, gold, Nasdaq, all of those moving, even Tesla stocks, there's opportunity. And how are you going to invest as a Nigerian? You're going to open a brokerage account with an American broker? How are you going to send your money over there, right? What is the entry level for you to have? You need maybe $10,000, $50,000, something to be reasonable considered as investment. With brokers as us, we gave a platform for the young generation, especially, have a door to enter the international market with very limited resource. You just need to have internet, right? You need to have some basic of knowledge about a computer and or have a smartphone, and you can start invest. Then when you sign up account where you find a broker like us, because we provide you the entire training program from the very beginning levels until the intermediate level until the advanced. So after when you're passing through all those trainings, you somehow become experienced person with a financial market. I'm not saying you're going to become experienced trader, because trading from practice, from reputations, there's nobody born as experienced trader in the world, right? So trading is not just a paper working, is contain a lot of effort into it, knowledge into it, patient, right? Also many time of failures. And there nobody does trading only win, never lost. Consider even Warren Buffett. So what people say that is a scam, because when they focus on a quick money gain, and then that's you falling into a scam. Most people want to make money, but they don't have patience. Even they have the money, but they don't want to wait. They want something quick. So if that's what you're chasing in investment, that's actually you easily to fall into the quick money game as scam. But we talk about wealthy opportunity, right? A very simple example, Warren Buffett. He bought Coca-Cola shares decades ago, and he held for decades, right? And the time he bought it, maybe a couple of dollars. Now it's went to $40, $50. This is 10, 20 times gain, but during the last few decades. So we probably understand, oh, Coca-Cola is a good one to buy. I bought it after a year or so. Nobody has a patient, right? So you can't say that the forex trading is a pure scam. It's no opportunity. But when the people looking for a quick money gain, this is where scam come, right? And scammer doesn't have the patience either. They looking for something quick, right? To get you in, they get a cash out, they finish. You don't see a scammer last for 5-10 years, which is you build a reputation.
Absolutely.
And then you can't be a scammer if you in the game for such long. That's what I'm saying, that if you ask the question, is definitely an opportunity for wealth. Depend how you manage your opportunity, how you manage the risk. Scam is another thing. The people using the name as forex, as a quick money gain, and that's how they play the game. For us, we see client make money every day, every month, years. As long as you stay in the game, there is a chance for you to win at the end.
Wow, absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for that. That was super helpful. I mean, the same question goes to you, Farad.
Well, I would say, yes, Forex obviously itself is very, very real. As you can understand, the banks, they move trillions and trillions of dollars every day. I would say scam is the fantasy sold around it.
Okay.
So social media, I think it has turned Forex into limbo in 3-month circus, So obviously it's like a huge ocean. If you respect the ocean, then of course you're going to swim nicely in it. But again, if you go against the ocean, then you're really going to drown. So it's not, some people take Forex as gambling. Obviously risk management is boring, looking at your positions, knowing about technicals and fundamentals and learning the education. It's all boring. Yes, it is definitely boring. But if you go into any business without all the knowledge that you can accommodate, you can have, obviously you're going to drown, you're going to lose money. So it's just like any other business that you can have. If you do put enough effort in the business, you will grow. But if you take it like gambling, you're definitely going to lose value. Yes.
Interesting. I think this is actually a global debate. Is Forex gambling or not? But I think people gamble with Forex, don't you think?
Well, with anything in life is gambling. You decide to go out today to make a move, you gamble. You gamble something could happen or could not happen. The weather is a gamble. You want to do let's say outdoor activity, and you have a rain. What are you going to do? So the gamble is very hard to gamble. Actually, I would say that is in a negative way of taking the risk, right? Why you say gamble? Because the cost is high, the risk is high, the return is high. Why people gamble? People not gambling for less, gambling for more. So when we're using gamble in our industry, sometimes even the traders have to take a bet. It's gamble. Doesn't mean every trade you do is 100% winning. You have 99.9% of winning ratio, but still this 0.01% could kill you, right? So I would say gamble is just you taking risk without knowing, right? Or you taking risk is over than what you should. So there's no risk-free thing in life. Everything we do in life is about the taking a risk. Something risk is too high, you don't really know, or you're doing it. Something risk is less. You're taking a new opportunity in jobs, changing a new company. You can't say everything is going to be perfect or much better than before, but you believe it's going to happen. You believe there is opportunity. So you're taking a bet, you're taking a risk. So it's a gamble. You're married to a lady, you believe she's going to be the one for the rest of your life. It's gambling, right? There's no 100% perfection, everything going to be the way how you set it up. So vice versa. The return is higher if you win on your decision. Higher risk, higher return. Has always worked out.
Interesting. I think you have an opinion as well, because I know that, like I said, it's a global debate. Is it a gamble or not?
Well, actually, as Ali gave a very good example of weather, for example, so everything is about education, right? So now if you want to go out, and I'm just continuing with the example of Alec's weather example. If you want to go out and it's going to rain, if you educate yourself that at this point it's going to rain, you will definitely take an umbrella, right? So you sort of save yourself from the gamble and getting wet. But if you don't have knowledge and you just walk out at any time of the day and you're not prepared, so obviously you're going to get wet. So training is something to that effect. If you just jump in the market without any knowledge and education, then of course you're going to lose money. But at the end of the day, more you know about something, more you can save yourself from it as well. Yes, it can make you a lot of money as well. But if you know when is the right time to get out of the market and when is the right time to get in the market, obviously it helps a lot. So it's all, I believe that education is a very big part of trading. More educated you are, more chances of you is to make money.
Wow, amazing. Talking about money and education. Next question is a bit similar, but this is it. What schools, and I want to ask you back before I go to Alec, and it says, what schools never taught us about money? And I want to expatiate on that a bit and make the question more defined. What's that one thing that your education background in school never told you about money, and then you're getting to find out in the real world?
Well, I would say schools, they really never taught us about taxes, about credit, about compound interest, about investing, about how to structure a business, for example. I mean, I believe schools were there just to help us memorize information. So that's what they wanted. You go to class, the person who memorized the most information and spills it out in the exam, that is the one who is always number one. But at the end of the day, I believe money is also deeply psychological. You have to understand that whenever you make a spending, it's mostly emotional. You see something, you do like it, you spend money, and that's about it. But you do not think how it affects your budget, how it will affect you in the coming days. Do you have enough money? in order to sustain for the rest of the month, for example. So schools, yes, they just filled us with a lot of information to cram the information and to memorize the information and just to spill it out on an exam paper, but they never really give us anything practical to deal with.
Now, you just said something, maybe, I just got into a pensive mode when you said that. You said money spending is largely psychological and emotional. And that's so powerful. What about you, Kate?
Well, when I say that, the school is built from the government, right? So there's a system. We went to school, all of us, from, private school, high school, university study. So we have learned a lot of theories. But those things not becoming practical anymore in the world because the world changed. The education system hasn't been actually upgraded compared to how the world developed. Right? We learn a lot of the knowledge, but we just barely can be used. And the thing is good to have this information to know things from, let's say, how you started, but it's not realistic, not practical. And also the time when we learn, and what we have been told by either the parents or teachers, you have to be a good student, study, you have to get a degree, get a job, right? You get a job for work, get money, and to run your life. But actually, money is not the orientation or the end result, what you're chasing for. Money is a tool, right? You need to use money wisely to improve your life, to make your life meaningful. So if you don't know how to use the tool, you only chase for it. It doesn't really give you the outcome. That's why in the school, they don't tell you what money can do for you. They only tell you what you can do to get money, right? That's what we're told to get a good degree for what? To get a job, right? This is the basic need. And then after that, you can do different jobs, you can do different levels. But initially, the school teaching us to feed our basic, let's say, a desire as a human being. You need to sustain your life. You need to get employed. So you get the income. You can running your life. So we basically has been programmed into the system. So money becomes something we work for. Actually, it's not money work for us. That's the difference between the rich. Rich people never chase for money because the money for them is a tool. They use money to generate the new business ideas, to do new thing, innovations, and to generate more money. So it's become totally different games.
Fantastic. Wow. And speaking about psychology, I think there's a book called Psychology of Money.
That is right, yes.
Yeah, very good. You see, you've been in Nigeria for maybe a couple of days.
Yeah.
Right. I wish you really could witness the way Nigerians spend money. So the good thing about it is that Nigerians, if you can convince them enough, man, they give you everything.
It's hard to convince a Nigerian.
That is true. As a matter of fact, there's a book called How to Sell to Nigerians. Now the truth about I read the book, and the summary of that book is, not giving credit to the author, but I mean the summary of the book is give Nigerians a good discount, and they buy from them, right? Nigerians don't like to, if it's expensive, they tell you, I don't want expensive. And I'm sure you've probably you've probably seen that in maybe some deposits or something, Maybe you want to start safe, maybe start with like, you say $10, they take my money, okay, let's push it up. Nigerians, they don't like, we've had many encounters with many times, so they like testing the waters. I'm sure you've had that experience. So let's talk a little bit about how does one start investing little capital? I'll start with you.
Oh, little capital, I think is a wise decision because we do something new, where we cannot go all in. That's a gamble, right? So, and also all the while the building start from something. So the little capital is very variable, depend your financial situation. Some people have 10,000 as a little capital. Some people have 1,000 little capital. You need to have a reasonable amount to start it. If you don't have it, I suggest you do not start it. Doesn't mean small money is safe, is a lower risk. You don't talk about risk actually based on the amount of money. Talk about ratio. If you put $100, you lose everything. It's 100% lose ratio. It's very bad. If you put 1,000, You lose $100, same amount. There's only 10% lose ratio, which is something manageable. That's why, for me, there is no what is good number to start. How little is too little? How big is too big? It all depends your financial situation. Start with something you can accept. If it's lost, you can take the risk. That's reasonable. Until you're pretty sure what you're doing, you believe you can stay in this game for long, you're able to managing the difficult situation. To win the trade, it's an easy thing you can do. Many clients I see that their first trade is winning, right? It's not the problem to win from trading, just how, again, you're going to last. Because trading is not one-time thing. It's not one day. It's depend how long you want to stay. You can last for years, decades, right? As long as you're in the game. The longer you're in the game, there's two scenarios. Either you have really deep pocket, that's unrealistic happening, or it's true, or you find a way to survive. The longer you survive, you have to build your wealth. You have to win. You have to build your capital from small to bigger, and then you can take higher risk. You can do different trading strategies. So at the end of the day, you win a game. It's not money. It doesn't matter how much you win from one trade. It matters how long you last. That's why I'm saying small capital is otherwise in the beginning is according to your financial situation. And we do not encourage you to go all in without knowing actually what you're doing.
Oh, that's interesting. What about you, Barnes?
Well, yes, as there's also this scenario in the market that a lot of people, they think that investing requires thousands and millions of dollars, but you can also start small, but consistency matters a lot in this case as well. So if you're consistent with your deposits, with your trading, with your investments, then yes, in the long run, it is going to help you. And patience helps as well. So you have to start to learn how to budget, how to build emergency savings, how to understand risk, and you can wait. You have to always avoid emotional investing. So if, just to give you an example of Forex trading account, if you have a smaller account in Forex trading, obviously it's a good idea to be very careful with the risk reward ratio. As Alex said, the ratio matters a lot. Obviously, you cannot have $100 account and just go all in one small, with a big position in one instrument, for example. You can have a $10,000 account and you can just play it at the ratio of 1 to 2 to 3%, for example, just to invest. 3% to 5% is what is a good idea of your account. So you can obviously start with $100, but not open many positions, and market just takes all your margin, and you don't have any place for the movement of the market, So you always need to leave yourself some room in order to have the risk that you can sustain the risk if the market moves against you, basically.
Wow, amazing. I have two more questions for the sake of time, and I'm going to ask the first question to you, Eric, and that is, why financial trading or why financial literacy is important in Africa? I'm sure you have just your little interaction. Why would you think financial literacy is important in Africa?
Oh, it's not just in Africa, I think everywhere. Especially we're talking about money. As I say it again, money is two. And you need to know how to use the two. Then you need certain education. You go through the process, right? And before you getting ready to make your first trade, you have to understand how all those information can be utilized by you to make your decision wisely. So there's no guaranteed win, but what we do through the education, through the training, through the study of the market, do research before you make your decision on trade, is for you to have more information, right? To reduce the risk level. So we cannot say that you're never going to lose, you're not going to take any risk, but you minimize the risk. When the risk is minimized, you can actually maximize the profit. That's how it goes. It's like the game, right? You play football, everybody loves football. You can't have the best striker in the world. You always make sure you win the goal, but you have really shit defense system, which is the end of the day, you're going to lose the game. Not because you cannot strike, because you can't defense. Same as Forex. Doesn't matter how much you're winning on the trade, but if you do not control your risk level, then you're going to lose the game at the end of the day. So what you mentioned, the question here is that the education is very important. Without that, doesn't matter who, we're not able to sustain. So you have to go through all the procedures, understand the risk, beware what you're doing, make your decision wisely, right? Even sometimes we make a wrong decision, at the least the loss or the risk is something you accept it. You understand it, you aware it. Do not go over than your limit. That's how to make you can sustain it again to survive.
Wow, amazing. Wow. What about you, Brad?
Well, actually, financial literacy in the world is no longer optional. It's survival, I would say, as of now. But Africa does have a massive opportunity, massive opportunity, because Africans, they have a young population as of now. Mobile technology, very good mobile technology, entrepreneurship. Then there are a lot of digital businesses set up over here. Then you have fintech, and then global access through the internet. So all these things, if a person does become financially literate, especially in Africa, it helps them with all these other opportunities that only Africans have. So it can really help them go ahead in life. So basically, I would say it changes the way they communicate with the system. They can just change their whole trajectory as of now if they become much more financially literate, and it gives them an edge with regards to the rest of the world, basically.
Interesting. Wow. This is so exciting, guys. I really hope you guys are learning a lot, because I'm learning a lot. This is the final question that I want to ask, and it's very, very quite dicey. Let's see how we go. Side hustles versus investing. Which of this builds wealth faster? I'll start with you, Bar.
Well, I would say side hustle is a short-term thinking. It might create wealth faster in the beginning, but investing can create multiple tiers of wealth later on, and patience is something that you really need to have if you really want to think about investing. Patience is something you need, along with consistency and education.
Good.
Again, when you say faster, as I say, it's a marathon, right? So you can run very fast in the beginning, but doesn't mean you're gonna reach the end. So side hustle could give you these benefits: quick money, you see something in, you're happy. But if you're not able to sustain it to the end, it means you lost the game. Reinvesting is always a long term, right? You see the entrepreneurs in the world, nobody win or become who they are from one day overnight. They have built things for decades before they become who they are today. Tesla has been for decades, not just today. They become a giant. Elon Musk is the richest man in the world, but he has been doing his project. He has been doing it for decades of time. So this investment is not just in money. The investment in consider investing in time, effort, last money, and you get a result. So who is faster depends on how long the game lasts, right? So we're not chasing for the short-term gain. We're looking for the long-term growth. And definitely investing at the end of the day gonna give you assets, give you the value. You have to put into it, and you're gonna get a return out of it.
Wow, amazing. So just to wrap up this segment, I'm going to be doing what we typically, so on BP Talks, as you guys know, we do what we call this or that, right? So this or that is very simple. So I'll give you two options, and then you tell me which is your preference, what you go with first. I'll start with you, Eric. Save money or investment?
Investment.
Okay. Right. Forex trading or crypto trading?
Forex trading.
Okay. Eric? 9-to-5 job or full-time trading?
Full-time trading.
Why?
Wow. Full-time trading give you, how can I say that? 9-to-5 job, maybe those, there's some condition, right? You're not going to become full-time trader from day one. You have to start something to build your wealth. But when you're able to, you should get into full-time trading, which is, the risk is really high, but the return is very high. And also, you're in control of what you're doing. Nobody will not come to you saying yes or no. It's a dedication. It's something you really like, you involve, you love it. Then the result wouldn't be bad.
Wow. But discipline or strategy?
Strategy.
Okay.
I will treat this.
Discipline. Okay, I think I'll choose discipline too. Right. But I think I love strategy as well. And like, make $1 million fast or deal with $100 million slowly.
Second one.
Okay. But trade alone or trade with a community?
That's a tricky one, but I would say that I would start trading alone, learn more, and then I would choose my community.
Okay. You modify the question, but okay. This is the last line. So, Alec, risk 1% daily or take one big risk.
Risk 1% daily.
Okay. And lastly, Bart, profits, consistency, or let me change that. Mentorship or self-learning? Mentorship. Wow. I love the session, guys. It was absolutely amazing. So insightful. I learned a lot. I know you're going to be learning so much too. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you'll be the first person to get notified when we have a new episode. See you in the next episode. Cheers.